How are you doing? I forgot to play my little intro, so hang on, I wanna play it for you. I love that. Was so fun. I hope everybody's doing good. Welcome, welcome. I am Michele Amburgey. I am the Awakener, and I'm one of many. And those of you that find yourself drawn to this show, drawn to the work that I do, you're probably awakeners too, because there's a lot of us here. And it's not like we're trying to awaken anybody else. We're not trying to change anybody. We're just trying to be the best us's that we are. And in that, we hope that it influences positively the world around us. And so I am super honored to be here with you guys. I'm going to really quick, while we're waiting for folks to get on here, I am going to share this over to my Facebook because I don't put it on there because it gets on there and then it doesn't get it sits there and it gets out there too early because I plan all my stuff ahead of time. So if I have to wait till the last minute, it doesn't get done. So we're going to talk a little bit about dreams today. And the reason I'm doing that is I have a dream workshop coming up this Saturday, which is June 17th. And it is about dreams. It's about learning how to dream consciously, like how to set your conscious intentions to dream, to remember your dreams, and how to then interpret your dreams. Because dreams typically come in symbology, they comes in a language. And we can use dream books and we can do all that stuff. Hey, Miss Jules, hi Sam. Um, we can we can use the books that others have, and some of the general stuff is good, like water is typically consciousness and emotions, and how water is behaving speaks to those things, and that's really good stuff. But there's also a point in all of that where you need to learn your own language. And that's where we are in our spiritual maturing, our spiritual journey. We can even call it the awakening journey, where we're learning to get our own messages. We're learning to get our own inner wisdom. We're learning to reconnect to the wisdom and the knowledge and the knowing and the understanding and the symbology and the ancient language of our own self. And we're at a point now, we're learning how to interpret your dreams from your own inner wisdom is really important. And so that is the type of dream interpretation that I teach. And I actually learned something similar about 15 years ago. And as I've worked with clients, I've developed this wonderful process that I'm going to be teaching you guys on Saturday. So I hope that you'll come. You can find it on my website. Let me just type it in here in the chat for you guys. And if you go to my website and you go to Conscious Living Academy, it's on the tab across there, and go in there and it'll say upcoming classes. And you do that, scroll down a little bit, you'll see the dreaming and dream interpretation class, and you can pop in there and register for it. It is a Saturday, so you want to get in there. I've got quite a few people signed up, I think, but I do know I have, as of right now, I've got a couple of open spaces. So usually with my classes, I don't get great big huge classes. I always limit them usually to between 5 and 10 people depending on our topic. Because I like to be able to teach it and then, work with you guys. So I don't do great big huge classes, so the space is limited. So take a look at that. So here's, for our purposes of what we're doing here today, just for fun, just to give you guys a little treat as to what we're going to talk about, is one of the things that's really important to do is to program yourself, set a protocol, set an intention, before you go to sleep, and to focus where your dream and where your subconscious mind is going to work for you in your dreams. And we talk about that in the class a lot, and how to do that and how that kind of works. But, a simple way you can do that is before you go to sleep, take some breaths, calm down, turn all of the cellular stuff off, even turn your modem off if you can, because that could be um, can interrupt brain waves, which can affect your dreaming too. And set an intention. Now you can do an intention like, tonight in my dreams, I'd really like to receive some guidance on, what next steps I should take to change jobs, or, what next steps do I need to do for my health, or maybe to find a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend or whatever. But you can set an intention like that. You can set an intention where I really would like to experience my connection to God in whatever way you understand God, whatever word you use for that. There's a lot of things that you can do, and you can set those intentions. But the thing is, when setting those intentions, you always want to set them in present moment, and you want to set them in the positive only. So you don't want to say, my intention is to not eat cookies anymore. Well, that's not going to help you. But intention to always be healthy and strong, and to see and feel and know my healthy, strong body, and what steps I can take into the future to be healthy and strong. Things like that. And so there's particular wording, there's particular ways to put it, there's particular forms of way of forming sentences and forming intentions that will keep it positive. Because a lot of us, our subconscious mind is that deep, scary place where all the skeletons are hidden, but it wants to help us. It's the playground of the ego as well. A lot of people are like, get rid of the ego. It's like, no, no, no. The ego is just like a 2-year-old run amok. And if we let it drive the car, we're going to crash eventually. But if we bring the ego in and we help the ego work with us to help us design our life, the ego wants to do that, because the ego's main goal is to help you and to keep you safe. And so we want to help the ego to awaken and move into that spiritual consciousness with us, right? And it will, but it also sometimes will be like, but wait, there's a really scary skeleton in the closet. And we have to learn how to manage that. And we can do that through our dream times. And we can do that by setting our intentions. And it's really important too to really learn how to slow down before you go to bed, and to kind of clear your mind. It's good to do like a little meditation, do a little chakra clearing, cut some cords. I think everybody here would totally understand about cutting cords. It could be as simple as, Archangel Michael, please cut all the cords that are connected to me that may be draining or siphoning off my energy, all the cords I have connected to others, where I may be draining off or siphoning their energies, to set me free to be with my own energy and to experience myself this evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. So it can be something very, very simple. The angels and archangels are always there to help, and they really want to help you. We are on a spiritual journey right now, and we are on a journey that is vitally, vitally important. And, we can see that how everything is beginning to split, that the duality that we've lived in has become so loud on both sides. And our job is to move through the middle as the pillar of light and the presence of love, not to take one side or the other, but to be that central point. And we can do that by moving into the inner world, and moving into the inner world understanding, and learning our own inner dialogue, our own inner language, if you will. Oftentimes in our dreams, we have a lot of symbology. Water oftentimes represents consciousness, what's going on in the consciousness, and emotions, and paying attention to what the water is doing in your dreams and how you feel about that. And so in the class, I'm going to teach you a way of, after you have your dream, you wake up in the morning, you always, first thing you do is write down your dreams, write down the highlights, right? And then I have a process for you guys to do, to take those dreams, to pick all the pieces out that are important, and then how to process them to get you a message. And usually we can get your message down to a pretty succinct message, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So another tip is to journal and to journal your dreams. It's typically, if you're just starting out, if you haven't done really any dream journaling, is the first time write down some of those dreams. We've all had those dreams that we've had that have stuck with us for years and years and years. I have several of them that I'll never forget them. And then you write down the dreams where maybe you've gone to the same place or where that have been recurring dreams, right? I have a dream that I have, and I haven't quite figured out what it is that's bringing this dream up. Like, is it stress? Is it fear? What it is? But where I always go to the same house, and it's this beautiful house, a two-story house. It's all white on the inside. It's very friendly. It's very loving. Feels very good. It's got a big staircase that goes up to the second story. It's got a railing, and it's all glass in the front, and it overlooks like a bay of an ocean. And sometimes that ocean, water, right? Big body of water. Sometimes that ocean, the sun is just setting and it's sparkling and clean. Sometimes it's dark and gray and dreary and the water is really green. Sometimes water's calm, sometimes it's violent. And so, I know from that it's speaking to my consciousness and my emotions and what's going on. And then, typically in that dream, I arrive there at that point, and then all kinds of weird things going on. Like one time I had in the dream, a friend of mine had a boat off the shore. And so I swam out to the boat. When I got out there, there was a great big huge ram with those great big huge horns, and it kept like facing off to me, and it kept like it never hit me, it never went after me, but it was like constantly, like, no, you're not moving here, no, you're not moving here. And then it was outside the boat and it was staring in the window, that kind of stuff. And then finally, somehow magically, there was a dock that was created, and the ram was looking elsewhere doing something, and I finally could get up and out of the boat and ran down the dock and into the house and was safe. And so, that was one of the instances of probably 30 or 40 times that I've had dreams where that house has been the central focus. And so it's really interesting. And ram is a very interesting thing because at the time I had a lot of Aries people in my life that were being exactly the way that ram was acting. But it took me a little bit of sitting with the dream and writing it down and doing the process for me to realize it was my emotions, it was my feelings around, these people that were here. And, if anybody knows any Aries, they can be difficult. They can be difficult, but they can also be amazing because they're leaders and they're creators, and they're the people that move things forward. And so I was resisting in one aspect and I was being resisted in another. And I was really able to get some clarity and actually to be able to let go of some people that weren't being beneficial in my life. And it was cool because it released some energy and it helped me to move forward. And it was through this process, I'm going to teach you guys on Saturday, that we figured that out. So it's really cool. So journaling is important. The other thing about journaling is sometimes, even if you're not doing an interpretation process with every dream, when you journal, you begin to see repeated patterns. One of my things, this is so funny, is I have repeated dreams that the whole dream, all and the entire dreams are like totally, totally different. But at some point, it starts raining, and then there's chickens falling out of the sky. Even sometimes it's like only one or two chickens coming out of the sky, but it's chickens coming out of the sky. Right? And so it's weird. And so I didn't even really pay attention. And I started seeing the patterning and started seeing the patterning. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? What is the chicken falling out of the sky? And then I had a big long dream where I was driving with somebody I was trying to break up with, and the chickens were just falling out of the sky. And then I went, am I the chicken? Am I the one? Am I it? And as soon as I broke up with this person, put my foot down, said, no more that dream. I never had that dream again. So, it's weird. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time and journaling and that kind of stuff to get the message, right? Or to understand the message. And sometimes you get in increments because there is a sacred language that's going on. But the more you do it and the more you work with it, the more you're able to kind of pick up real quick, right? And and it's really fun to begin to understand from your own interview and not and from your own inner view, interview, instead of going to a book and taking someone else's studies they did or research, and it doesn't mean it's bad, but you have something within you that is trying to speak to you. And so we learn our own inner language, and journaling is a huge part of that. And then the other thing is learning your own dream language so that you can interpret it. It's like understanding your own psychic language. We all, that with all the millions of psychics are in the world, every single one of us have a different experience of being psychic. Many of them are similar, right? You can be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I do that too. Oh, cool. But every single experience is different, just like every single dream experience is different. And when we learn to interpret for ourselves, when we learn to speak for ourselves, when we learn to trust our inner language, we are closer to the language of God. And you guys know I use that term like really big, whatever your God is. Um, we're closer to that connection to God, to that supreme power, to, I like to call God the eternal loving presence, the universe source. When we allow ourselves to connect and do our own interpretation, we begin to really have that connection to God and to be able to communicate with that really high consciousness. And it opens us up to the high consciousness. But oftentimes the ego, with all of its doubts and fears and distractions and everything, is like, no, don't go there, that's scary. And a lot of that's programming, because we've been told that dreams and psychic and seeing and intuition and healing and all that stuff is evil and of the devil, where really it's of God. And it's time for us to start working with the God energy again. It's time for us to start connecting our own energy with the God energy again, because that's the time that we're living in. We are in spiritual battle, my friends, and everybody's picking their sides. And it's, what side are you picking? And you can go, crazy on this side, or crazy on this side, or you can go peace and harmony within, and that's up to you. And that's where you learn your language and interpret your dreams and experience your psychic and your healing and your innermost magic is from right inside of you and getting inside of you. And we live in a world where there's so many distractions, maybe by design, to keep us distracted from getting into this inner space. And so finding that, and you guys all know that I am a huge proponent, prayer, meditation, daydreaming, whatever you got to take to shut the world out, shut the world up, and take some moments and listen to what's going on inside of you. Feel what's going on inside of you, even if it doesn't feel good, because you always have the choice to love that stuff, even that doesn't feel good, even if it feels like crap, even the memories that suck, right? Suck. God, I hated that whole period of my life. It hurt so bad. It was so demeaning and humiliating. And I feel the guilt and the shame inside of me of the way I responded to it. But you know what? I'm feeling it right now. And I'm just going to love it, because it's part of me. It got me to where I'm at right now. And I'm just going to love it. And what would loving my shame feel like? I don't know, but I'm going to make it up. I'm going to make it up. And when you start doing that, it begins to diminish those heavy lower energies, those heavy lower frequencies. And you do that with the dream stuff too. You do that with the dream stuff too. So it's really sacred work. It's really powerful work. So, oh, thank you, Sam. I'm glad that this is helpful. This is really important stuff. I'm so, my passion is to really teach people about this, exactly what we're talking, is learning to connect with your inner space and be who you are from your own inner knowing. We've been so focused on outside and getting our nurturing and our healing and our everything from outside forces. And we need to come within. So, Sam is saying she's been listening to the 528 frequency music. No, 528 is a good basic frequency. Um, But it depends. Is it disrupting your dreams? Are you dreaming? You know, I would think a 432 might be a little bit better, but that depends on you. That kind of depends on what frequency you're vibing on. And so if you're doing listening to the 528 hertz and you're having dreams and you're waking up and you're journaling your dreams and you're having good experience with it, then it's fine. You know, that's one of those things. We're all at different frequencies. You know, it's all related to our emotions, it's all related to our thought processes, it's all related to what electronic craziness we have going on around us. Um and so, but feel it. Does it feel right? Does it feel right? It feel good? Hello, Blue Iris. Ver. Yeah, Ver's saying that she had repeated house dreams too that continue to evolve. And Emily's saying, I had two dreams of my celebrity crush. Does that mean anything or am I being delusional? Well, the way I teach dreaming is that everything we dream about is you. So, dreaming about, you know, it's funny you say that, Emily. I used to have dreams of being, oh my God, what's his name? Frodo, Elijah Wood, being his girlfriend. And, but it had to be sneaky and we had to like sneak around. And it was really funny. And I've never felt that way about him, but in my dreams, but in the dream interpretation and the way I teach it is he's a part of me. And so it's the aspects, and I teach this in the class too. It's the aspects of him and some of the things we take a look at. And what is that about that person, those aspects that we intuit on that tells us more about ourselves. So are you being delusional? No, it's something within you that is telling you something about yourself because that's what the dreams are. There, some people do have prophetic dreams, and that is different. That is another thing. Is there are different kinds of dreams. There are prophetic dreams where people dream of being with their crush, their celebrity crush. Um, it's funny. I have a cousin who's a big famous rock star, and I have so many people like, "Oh my God, I'm so in love with you, cousin." And oh, do you think, I have dreams about him. Do you think that, I would ever meet him and he would fall in love with me? And it's so cute. It's so sweet. But celebrities put out a certain frequency field, and that sometimes we pick up on them. But ultimately, the message really is about, what is your dream telling you about you? And could it mean that the qualities of this particular celebrity are reflecting back to you something about you that could actually help you find your most wonderful, loving person? There's a lot of different things. Yeah, try the 432. And also, Sam, there are also other frequencies that could help. I don't really get into that in the class because it's a whole different thing. You can actually Google what are the best frequencies for dream remembering. Actually, hang on. I got a phone. I can do that right now. Best frequencies for, we're going to call it lucid dreaming, because that's another thing. There's a difference between lucid dreaming and conscious dreaming. Conscious dreaming is choosing and programming, like what we're talking about. Lucid dreaming is a little bit different, where you actually have the experience of leaving your body and going into an astral realm and experiencing what's in that astral realm. So it's two kind of different things. They can be very similar. I don't do lucid dreaming. I'm very uncomfortable with the whole concept of leaving my body. I believe that everything is within, and so I stay in my body and experience my body. But there's nothing that's right or wrong. It's what works for you. So dreaming is in the theta stage, Sam, And those frequencies are 4 to 8 hertz. Okay. So the interesting for this is you actually probably want those lower hertz. This is saying right here that 40 hertz is in REM sleep. So Emily, so Sam, look up. I'm getting there's I think it's 172 or 175. Look that up, Google that. Also Google the 40 hertz because that goes with the REM sleep, the REM sleep, and that is where you have like good clear dreams too. So you also want to check in how are you sleeping. There's some apps that you can have on your phone that will actually monitor when your cycles of sleep, when you're in REM, how long you're staying in REM, how long you're actually sleeping, where you are, and that can also, that's really getting deep into the dreaming experience. But it's fascinating. It's fascinating because it's a whole world. It's a whole world, the dream world. That's why they call it a world. So yeah, try 432 and see how that helps you. The 528 and the 432 are actually more for healing the body, more for cellular, balancing out cellular frequency. Working with the mind, subconscious mind, and the mind is a little bit different frequency, but the 432 is a good place to start. It's a good place to start. The lower the frequency, the more you get into the beta and the theta beta. There used to be a grocery store called the Alpha Beta. I used to call it the Alpha Beta Theta store. So yeah, it's very interesting. And another thing is why we want to journal our dreams too is, are you having prophetic dreams? Are you having dreams that are coming true? I know several people that dream like that. Like they'll have kind of normal dreams, but then they'll have dreams that several months down the road, all of a sudden something comes from that, or they're having like a really strong deja vu, and all of a sudden they realize, oh my gosh, I dreamed this, 6 months ago or 3 months ago. And so another reason to be journaling is to be journaling to see if what you are dreaming, because the weird thing about dreams is that we tend to forget them. It's almost like that Stargate closes in our minds when we get back to this waking realm, right? The dream world and the waking world are two different worlds. And isn't it interesting? Isn't the whole process interesting of dreaming? How we're awake, and we're awake in a world that we're now beginning to realize that may be a manufactured, it may be a computer program, it may be a hologram, it may not even be real, it may be an upside down world from something else that is true, an inversion of what is truth. And yet every night we go to sleep and we leave, our consciousness, our conscious mind shuts down. And so we enter another world, another mind, and we experience there. Because even if you don't remember your dreams, you're still having an experience. And that's the other thing about programming your mind to, I will remember my dreams tonight. You can program with something that's simple. I will remember my dreams. I will remember my dreams. I will remember my dreams. And I've had several people I did a big dream course before the big lockdowns. I call it BC, before COVID, right? Um, and there were two people in the class. It was actually a husband and wife who realized that they were having prophetic dreams and didn't even realize it. And after they started journaling, they were like, oh my gosh, we were dreaming some of these things. And so the journaling, back to the journaling, do it. So Blue is saying, I occasionally have dreams that take place in my childhood home, and it's unpleasant, like I don't belong there yet. I'm trying to fix things. Yeah. And that is subconsciously, just very much on the surface, is it's time for you to address those issues. So with the class that I teach, It helps you to look at each of the major players, each of the situations, and find out from your own you-ness, what is that telling you? What aspect of you are you dealing with and is speaking to you? If anybody has studied a Jungian psychology, um, it's very much like the archetypes and the Jungian psychology. That's what I studied when I was in college. I was going to be a psychiatrist, and I got up to my bachelor's, and I thought the professors were crazy, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. So I have a background in childhood psychology and Jungian psychology, and that's kind of the archetypes and the different aspects of our mind, that I use for this dream interpretation. So each thing in your dream has something to tell you. So Iris, come and take the class, especially if you're having dreams that are kind of over and over, because we do struggle with things until we can interpret, until we get the message. And sometimes it's not even, okay, I got the message, now I have to fix it. Sometimes it's just getting the message. That's one of the powerful things about doing past life stuff too. Sometimes when we just face the demon or face the situation, it corrects itself. It's so often it's what we have buried, like buried treasure is something that's always sitting under there. But as soon as we reveal it, it's like, oh, now I know what that is. Okay. And there's not always something to be done. Sometimes it's simply the acknowledgement. And that's one thing with healing on all different levels. The acknowledgement, the awareness of it is like 90% of it. And that's when so often we just get stuck in this. I got to heal. I got to heal. I got to work. It's work, work, work. I got to process. I got to do. I got to do. I got to do. It's like, well, wait a minute. Do you know what it is you're even doing yet? Let's go there first. Let's find the nugget, and then let's ask it. What is that nugget? What does it want to do? You know, um, yeah, it's powerful. It's really powerful to become aware of all this stuff. So it's very much, oh, you're welcome, Sam, honey. It's nice to see you here too, Sam. I haven't seen you in a while. And Blue Iris coming back to play. Thank you, thank you. And I think I missed something. Very good. Hey, Karen, I didn't see you there. Karen is here. Very good. Yeah. So write this information down and try this. Try this tonight, where you say that you are going to remember your dreams, and have a little journal by your bed. And when you wake up, even if you wake up in the middle of the night, just write down the main things that you remember. A purple ball, a car, a man, and a chicken falling out of the sky. Just little things. It doesn't have to be the whole dream. Or if it can be, it can be the whole dream, right? If you're remembering that stuff, and just start journaling that. Start giving yourself permission to really receive the message. And it's interesting because give yourself permission to receive the message without trying to figure it out. I know, because that's one of the things, the process that I teach you is you're not really figuring it out. You're not figuring it out with your mind. It's a process of looking at each thing from your own inner wisdom, and it kind of creates like um, a cone kind of a shape where you take all these different things and it kind of hones down into sorry about that, into a message, and into the message that is for you. Sometimes the message is somewhat complicated. Most of the time it's pretty simple. Our minds really are simple. It's we make it so complicated because we're always trying to figure it out. And we have so much input from so many different ways. So this is this, and this is this, and then it's conflict, and then I don't know what it is, and then the brain gets overwhelmed. But yeah, Blue Iris, the childhood dreams and the dreams about childhood. I have a lot of dreams of being a child, but being in adult situations. So it's kind of this similar thing. But if you're trying to fix things, you got something in there that you're still feeling responsible for. So it'd probably be a really good idea to learn how to do that dreaming. And once you guys learn it, once you guys get the process, because I actually am giving you the layout of how to do it. And so you can use it for all of your dreams. It's pretty cool. So I know that we usually do little readings. If you guys want a reading, we can do that. I'm not doing dream interpretation readings because I don't do it that way of how, because of what I'm talking about, how I do dream interpretations. I would need the whole dream, all the players. It's actually, I do sessions with people on the whole thing. If you guys want to pop something in there and share, that's cool. But if you guys want a reading, want me to pull you a little card, we can do that right now too. We got a little bit of time, and we can go for there. And another thing about dreams too, there's multiple aspects of you that are always in action. So your ego is an aspect of you, right? There's always parts of you. There's the protector, there's the warrior, there's the kind of the inner child, there's the wounded one, there's the mother, there's the father, there's the worker, there's the lazy one. There's so many different aspects of you, and you're dealing with that all the time. And part of the point of learning about your dreams and learning to interpret them is to bring everything together in one wholeness so that you can be present and be aware for the spiritual journey that we're on. We've all kind of been separate, kind of shattered is the word that comes to me. And we've all kind of been shattered into pieces. And maybe by design, maybe that's part of when God decided to put, and again, I use that word very loosely, but began to experience itself, and it just kind of sent itself out into the morphogenic fields of creation. That kind of shattering might be a pattern that we're keeping with us as well when there's so many different aspects of ourself. And really, it's about bringing it back in, right? It's about bringing it back in and having all of the shattered pieces brought back in together into the beautiful one piece. And when we do that in the inner, we begin to bring the shattered human consciousness back into oneness too. And I think that's really where we're going to start seeing healing on this planet and in multiple planets too. All right, Sam would love a card. Oh, wow. In Brazil. Good for you. Oh my gosh. You know what? I've always been fascinated with Brazil. And this is something that's kind of funny. I have this little game that I play with my granddaughter that we call it the tentacles. And we have their like little hand puppet things, right? And they're literally like this. And we were playing one day, and we were talking, and one of my little tentacle personalities is this really rough little guy, rah, rah, rah. And my granddaughter's like, well, where do we want to go? And this little tentacle goes, Rio de Janeiro. I've always wanted to go. Let's go there. So we had this whole adventure over days and days and days of going to Rio de Janeiro. We looked it up and everything. And it was so funny because I've always been so drawn. And I did my astrocartography. And one of my lines is in Los Angeles, which is, I'm Orange County. So I'm like 50 miles south of Los Angeles. So, that's within the range. And one of my other main one is Rio de Janeiro. And so it's kind of interesting. So Brazil's always been something fascinated. So, mwah. All right, let's take a look let's use Kyle Gray's cards here. Gateway of Light activation, super great cards. Super great cards. I just love them. They're easy to read. They bring their messages through really good. I love his little prayer that he says in here. And he says, I call forth from within the light of source. Thank you for standing at the forefront of my heart and my mind. Thank you for activating the ancient wisdom of my soul. I welcome in the support of heaven, earth, the stars, light beings, and beyond. And so it is. So it's so good. And then over here it says, as above, so below, so within, as without, connections to heaven and earth throughout the stargate of your heart. Just love that. Love that, kid. So, okay, Sam, let's grab some cards for you and see what See what Spirit wants to say to you. And this angelic star seed energy that is so prevalent. Ooh, well, there we have it. They jumped out for you. So, oh my gosh. Sam, the first card you got, Heart of Source, all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity. Look at that. Look at that. And I want to say, Sam, that this is where you are right now. You're still settling in. I can feel that there's some unsettled things. There's some things consciously that needs kind of be reconciled, if you will. And it may be even family issues and maybe even ancestral connection kind of thing. But it's really about the heart. And you are where the heart is. And wherever you are, heart is too, that love is. And it's like, focus on that, focus on your heart. It's the source, it's your source of everything. Your nature is very much love. And so be what you are, basically. And then it goes angelic frequency. Angels are here, you are safe, potent connection. So, the angelic realms, a lot of people are like, I don't really get the angels. I'm not really into angels. It doesn't have to be angels, right? It can be whatever force or consciousness that is of a higher frequency that can support you. But that being said, Sam, the angels want to talk to you. And where you live, there's a lot of angelic energy down there. There's a lot of angelic energy. When I think about the country of Brazil, and I realize that there's a lot going on down there, and that the history is rather rough and wild and violent. But there's a lot of deep, sacred energy there, and tap into it. Whoa, I just got that really loud. Tap into that energy. Don't get caught up in the surfacey stuff. The energy of the land, what the land has to say, the sacredness, the sacred foundation that was laid before man itself came into that land. Ooh, that's intense, Sam. That's really intense. Take that and marinate on with that for a little bit. I think you're going to find some cool stuff from that. Thank you. That was cool. All right. So Ver is saying, I will start working again next week at an old workplace, but it feels different this time. Can I have a card? Yes. One of the things that I am getting for you, Ver, is you've changed. And Archangel Michael is even saying it's like you've grown up and matured spiritually. And they're saying that's part of what you're feeling. And so you're feeling everything differently. So let's see what these cards want to say. Oh, interesting. So the first card there is Sirius or Sirius, star blessings. Yes, it's a go, proceed, be seen, push through. Also, I'm getting don't get caught up because it's work, but it's not your whole life. Be who you are. But it's like, yes, what you're doing is like, yeah, this is okay where you're at right now. Follow the yeses too, is what I'm getting. But check this out. Check this out. This card again. Heart of Source, all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, serenity. This is the second time we've gotten this today, and we've only done 2 polls. So you guys, part of this message is stay in your heart. Stay in that heart space. Everything is okay when you are connected to the heart space, to your inner place. That's walking that, Buddha would have called it the middle path. Some other traditions do too. Don't get caught up in the right. Don't get caught up in the left, all the craziness that's going on. Stay in your center space and everything will be okay. And that can be at work in the micro, it can be in the world in the macro. Whoops. Yeah, I did that right. So yeah, and what I'm getting to is there blessings, blessings, blessings. it's not perfect, but it's much better. And it's like, be there in your heart. Be there in your heart. So I hope that that helps you. I hope that that helps you. Mm. All right, Karen. Oh, Sam, you're saying that's amazing. Not here, but Rio is beautiful. Oh, okay. So you're, yeah, I know Brazil's a very large country, but it all has that beautiful sacred energy. So Karen says I would love some cards. So let's throw some for Karen. You're welcome, Sam. You're welcome, Vera. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Ooh. All right. This is for Karen. Ooh. Oh, these are intense cards, Karen. First card we got is Earth Star Activation, Anchoring, Grounding, and Isis Energy. Karen, it's really important you make sure that you're in your body. And this card is really powerful because there's a chakra that's below your feet, about 3 feet below your feet, that is called the Earth Star. And there's something about connecting with that Earth Star chakra below your feet. When I do chakra work with people, once we get kind of past the basic, really learning about it, kind of moving into intermediate to advanced chakra work, I have everybody picture that your chakras are like the Merkaba right there. And I really want you to start picturing, Karen, this Merkaba at that chakra, that Earth Star chakra that's below your feet, and start seeing it spin. Let it kind of spin on its own, and bring your awareness into that chakra. I feel like that's going to help ground you in a very spiritual way, and will kind of set you free. And then this is kind of cool. The other card you have is called Halls of Amenti Initiation. Secrets revealed, treasured, uncovered, initiations. Check out that card. It's weird. It's like words aren't coming to me. It's like just meditate on that card. Treasures uncovered, secrets revealed, Karen. And I feel like these are good things. A lot of times when life is weird and life gets kind of rough and we're like, those bad secrets are going to be unveiled. I feel like these are good secrets. I feel like these are like memory type secrets of gifts that you have, of beautiful things that maybe you've forgotten about or that you've tucked away and haven't brought out and looked at in a while. I feel like, I don't know if you have a brother or a brother energy. I feel like there's something about a brother, whether it's yours, it's a brother is what I'm getting. I'm not getting your brother particularly. I'm getting a brother. There's something about that is going to be, there's a goodness that's going to come out of that. And I'm not getting really clearly what that is, but it's finding something that has to do with a brother that is good. Yeah, treasures revealed, secrets uncovered. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I feel like it's coming up probably about 2 weeks, Karen. Something's coming up, not in 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. So between now and about 2 weeks from now, something, and it may not be a big kind of a thing, but something like, oh wow, yeah, oh yeah, I remember that, or oh oh look what I found. This belonged to that person that was a brother to my best friend or something. You know what I mean? There's brother energy involved. So I hope that blesses you. Let us know when you find that. And Gayal, do you want a card, darling? You're welcome, Bear. You guys are welcome, welcome. You got to move it, move it. All right. Well, I'm glad that you guys came for the dreams, and to listen a little bit. I hope what I was able to share here today helps you guys, because it's really, we have so many things that we can do. You're welcome, Karen. We have so many things that we can do that really help us. And it's so easy to just not. And especially like that prayer meditation thing, it's so easy to kind of set aside. And we do it with exercise, we do it with everything. The things that we should be doing that are most important tend to get put on the back burner. And I really want to inspire, love, whatever into you guys, that between now and the end of November, please, please, please do those things that are best for you, that are loving you. We're on a trajectory to really have some massive shifts in November. And it's going to depend on the frequency of everybody and taking care of ourselves, eating right, exercising, prayer, meditation, little dream interpretation. All of that are blessings that will raise the frequency and will bless and keep you in alignment for the highest of all of that. So all right, so Linda would love a message for keeping me or getting me on the path best suited for me. One of the things that I have learned, a lot of times we're seeking the path best suited instead of just get scooting along a path that's in front of you. Lemurian star seed codes. Ooh, star seed. Lemurian seed codes, but I put star seed in it. Embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, and living with grace. Your very existence, Linda, is your path. Your life is your path. Are you living your life? And are you living it in the very highest way possible? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you loving yourself? Are you meditating? Are you exercising? Are you drinking good water? Right now, that's your path. And this Lemurian seed codes, these are codes that are embedded within you, within your DNA, within your cellular structures. And as you begin to operate from that pureness of taking care of the God within, any path that needs to be followed will reveal itself. But right now, you are the path. Pleiadian activation, coming together, harmony in the heavens, and resolution. In many different spiritual teachings, it says the kingdom of heaven is within. The kingdom of God is within. God is within, universe is within, source is within, eternal loving presence is within, whatever that is. Higher consciousness, higher frequency, whatever that is inside of you. It's not something outside. When we begin to realize that and we begin to turn our love and our joy and our peace and our healing and our love to our body, it's like we are honoring and treating God in that fashion. And this is the message not only for you, Linda, but this is for everybody. It's time to start treating God within with the utmost and highest honor. How would you treat God if God came to dinner? What would you treat God? Would you give him Wendy's? Or would you give him organic, fresh organic vegetables and the very best, pieces of everything and the highest? I mean, I would give the presence of love the very best of me. Well, we should be doing that for ourselves. And Linda, I feel like that is your message, that right now your path is you, is clearing the pathways within. Maybe there needs to be some fasting done. Maybe there needs to be some fasting from some things, like maybe getting off the internet, or I mean, I know that's one thing that I've been getting, is like get off the internet, get out of social media, get off TV, get off from everything that is inorganic and get back to organic. And I'm feeling like I'm getting this really strong, but I feel like there's part of this that I'm getting is for you too, is get back on the organic timeline. Oh, ooh, I just got chills for that. That's for everybody. Get back on an organic timeline. Get back in an organic way. We're so far off the natural right now, most of us, that we need to get back into that energy, into that frequency. Mother Earth is the highest frequency, even though we're being told there's something wrong with her and all this stuff. Mm-mm. Mother Earth knows what she's doing. Even though some factions tamper with her, Mother Earth is way bigger and way stronger than any man-made anything that it is. And we want to be in alignment with that. And when I talk about Mother Earth, when I talk about God, when I talk about higher consciousness, it's all the same thing, right? And it's all inside of you. And so, Linda, that beautiful you that you are right now, that is your path. How are you going to walk that path? With the best of all? With love and peace and harmony? All you have to do is just be the best for you, show up for you the very best you can. Everything else will take care of itself. That feels really good. I hope that blesses you, Linda. I hope that blesses you. Gael, let's give you something to chew on. Ooh, emerald tablets and the stellar gateway. All right, so you got emerald tablets, blah, 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 blah. Cosmic ordering, divine alchemy, conscious manifesting. Look at that. Why do I feel like that you got this card before, or I'm having deja vu now? The ancient emerald tablet energy, what comes off of the Melchizedekian cloister emerald order, the ancient historical things that I teach a lot of through the Kalantic stuff. I don't teach all of it. I know there's some things that I kind of pick and choose, just like I pick and choose from everything. I don't do religion, I do spiritualities. I use what works. The emerald tablets actually is a part of that. It was kind of taken out of context, but it has a lot of the secrets of that. And I feel like that is speaking to an ancient understanding that you have, Gael. And you also have a stellar gateway activation, infinite potential, and a manifestation vortex. And so, Gael, I'm hearing that you have so much of this wisdom within you, and you're beginning to remember. It's like you remember, but you're remembering here, and it wants so much to come up and just be a part of everything. I want to say that it's part of your fall. It's like there's a part of you that keeps deflecting it a little bit. Maybe I'm not ready. A little bit of, oh crap, if I step into that, it's hugely so much responsibility. And also fear, the persecution fear thing. And I feel like you're really being asked to step through those things. And remember that when you step into this energy, you aren't doing it. It's the divine flowing through you. It's not you doing. And so this fear of, oh my gosh, there's so much responsibility, comes from some old programming that you're probably persecuted for because it was imperfect. It wasn't perfect. It didn't come out perfect. And I feel like there's something to where when all this wants to come up from within, you're like, no, wait, no, I'm not worthy. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, and there's a little bit of something about that, honey, that's going on. I think that's part of the reason that you're finding yourself drawn to the A Million I Love You program, and the people that are with us and to me, because we're all learning to recognize this within ourselves again and to begin to operate from that. And you are too. And so I feel like it's that, and that's a lot what the emerald tablets talk about, and is the oneness too, is we're all one, we're all connected, and when we all get into the frequency together, we can all hold that frequency together, and we're not alone, right? We allow the divine to flow through us. And what I'm being given right now is like a council of people all standing in a circle, and that divine energy flowing through all of us through to the center, and a big huge beam of light going up, that is holding the peace and the love and the harmony and the balance and the equality and the freedom that we all desire. And from that column, it just radiates out into everything, and it just the light and the love of it fills all of life everywhere, not just here on this planet. And you have that kind of power, Gael. Ooh. Ooh, I'm hot. I've got like sweat running down my back from delivering that message, girl. So chew on that. Chew on that. Linda agreed on getting off the internet, eating better, maybe cutting down on chocolate. Well, chocolate's not bad for you, especially if you're doing a little bit the darker chocolates and the chocolates don't have the sugar. I use Lily's chocolate. I get the chocolate bars, and it's dark chocolate, but it doesn't have so much sugar in it, but it's got a ton of magnesium and minerals because chocolate is very, very good for you. So maybe not cutting down on chocolate, maybe choose a chocolate that is beneficial and high frequency would be a good start. Not watching the politics. Oh, yeah, it does feel better, huh? It does feel better. I did today. I did. I had to get on and find out what was happening in the courthouses down in Miami. Um, I feel like a lot of that stuff is very pivotal. It's like either we're gonna go down with the ship or we're gonna get back up and start moving forward again. I feel like a lot of it is around that. It's intense. But yeah, getting out of that and allowing whatever that faction of life, let them do it. There's nothing we can do about it anyways, right? And if we're in our lane and we're taking care of our thing and we're loving ourselves and our life and our people, that's where reality is, right? I had a big communication with someone earlier today about what reality is. And so many people are so identified with this whole thing going on around us that may or may not even exist. But even if it does, it's like there's nothing we can do about it. So why are we letting it drain our energy? Why are we letting it take our energy and our life force? The only thing that we have that is valuable is our life force, is our energy, is our consciousness. That's our most valuable thing. And so being conscious of where we're lending it and allowing it to go, that's the most important thing, especially right now. Especially right now. So Linda, you're totally on track. Keep it up. Keep doing it. Keep going. So we're at 5 o'clock, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I hope to see you guys at the dream class. Good job, Gael. Good job. She's saying, poking at some spots that are under reconstruction, wide open, tasting and assimilating. Very good. Very good. It's my main mode right now too. Yeah. So it's moving in. It's like, oh, next level initiation, next level, up we go. A lot of mine is going to be fasting, really separating. I'll put this out there right now. July, I am not going to be on social media. I'm not going to be here on YouTube. Um, I'm going to take the entire month of July off to just separate, get back, go organic. I'm going to go feral and really do some fasting and do some reconstruction. For those of you that are in my membership, we will continue doing membership, and I will still see clients, but all this extraneous stuff that I do is going to get stopped in the social media and all that stuff. So just giving you guys a heads up. It's June 13th, so I think I'll have 2 more here, and then July I'll be off. I'm taking Freedom Month. I'm gonna go into meditation. I'm gonna go into samadhi and see what spirit has for me. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming. We will see you next week. If I don't see you in the dreams class, guys, seriously, dreams class is amazing. Next week, we are going to talk about New Earth leadership, starting up a new group, and it's actually called New Earth Visionary Council. And we're going to start working on kind of what we're talking about here, not the dreaming thing but about consciousness and where we're placing our energy. And next week is also the summer solstice. So next week, after my live YouTube, we're going to have bridge walkers too. We're going to be talking about pure love. So next week's going to have some super yummy, awesome energy. But hopefully I'll see you guys on Saturday, this Saturday, June 17th for the Dream Workshop. And you can find out about that again on my website, micheleamburgey.com. Go to the Academy, Conscious Living Academy. You see the tab across the top, and you can go sign up for that. So I love you guys. Hope you guys have a great evening, and we will see you very soon. And until then, stay